How's it going, everyone? My name's Aiden. Welcome back. Today's day 318 to Post Back on his channel. Back in the journey once again. Hope you all are having such a good Saturday today, another day in the weekend. Of course, we are back one more day. But please stay safe, keep enjoying what you got. And with that being said, today's message I want to talk about is share your story. Before we get into today's message, let's talk about the day real quick. Nothing other than work. Woke up at 6:30 this morning uh, and worked a quick shift. That was pretty baller. Um, yeah, I mean, never really worked in the morning before, so I was on time and I got to chill out a little bit before the shift started. Different vibe, I gotta say. I actually really like it, but yeah, I mean, other than that, came back home, I worked out, getting ready for my half marathon tomorrow, so that's something to look forward to. But yeah, let's just right back into today's message. Sharing your story. Why is it important to share your story? I think us people, we can go through the same thing pretty much at the same time. And we don't recognize it until, somebody speaks out about it. There is one reason as to why I've became very familiar to talking about my grief. And it's simply been because of the fact that I know other people go through it. Now, I know that some people don't go through the same thing that I've gone through, but the advice that I'm able to give about my grief and how I've went through it can help somebody else's situation. I think it is very important to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable. You have to allow yourself to talk about the things you need to talk about, because if you don't, how are they ever going to get resolved? And when you speak about it, obviously, you can talk about as much detail as you want. But I think at the end of it, you can always talk about something that you learned from it. And hearing that lesson might actually help somebody else. I've had a lot of people ask me about advice on how did I get out of my situation of grief and how am I managing it? How am I being able to, push myself forward no matter what? And pretty much I always kind of revert to something that my dad told me, no matter what you go through, you should always push through. Always got to keep moving forward. Always got to keep one step at a time. And pretty much what I've learned from that is to be strong. Yeah, I mean, be vulnerable, be communicative, be honest, but also be strong. Be a reason somebody wakes up in the morning. Be a reason that somebody gets motivated, gets inspired. You talking about your story may simply do that for somebody, and you don't even know. You don't know it until you say something. Now, I'm not saying that you go around and start telling people your story, but you know, I think it's important to talk about what you've gone through, not to just simply get it out of your head, and vent to somebody, but also you're able to teach somebody a lesson about it. And just about grief in general, I always like to tell people, people that you love around you, give them a hug, tell them you love them, because life is very short and you never know when it could just be simply stripped away from you. And, that's why you don't take things for granted. Instead, you just enjoy every single moment like it's the last. Life is made for us to enjoy things and savor them and, capture it in our head and keep it as a memory. So, I think yet again, we talk about sharing our stories, sharing what we've gone through, because it can motivate somebody else. It can literally pull somebody out of a hole and make a difference to them simply by talking about what you've gone through. And, you know, there are people out there that are willing to listen, that are willing to help you. So do not be afraid to reach out and ask for help. Never. You are important. Your feelings are important. Your feelings matter. You are very valid as a person and you are very important. So never forget that about yourself. But it is okay to share your story and talk about the things that you want to talk about. you don't know what it could do for somebody else. You know, it could be a blessing or a lesson, they say, you know. But with that being said, guys, I hope you all have such a great rest of the evening. And remember, take care of yourself, use every matter, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.